Ferrall on the bench, coast to coast in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad seat, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh, people dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake it up, Scooby, along with the Tutty and Tater King himself, the sheet of integrity rights holder, Carver High this afternoon, ladies. Mafia running it with Luke Ayamilpada, back from 103 fever, near-death experience over the weekend. He's in the saddle again. We got a rundown on a midweek Where Do You Hurt Wednesday. A double shot with Morenzi. Oh, my God, look who it is. PA on the mic. Paul Allen, the stuff of legend. The radio voice of the Minnesota Vikings joins us today on this very program. Oh, Ferrall, we love the program. Please pass me my pool moles. And also, in the second hour, look who it is. Joe Beninati, the ball carrier, the voice of the Washington Capitals. My God, what is happening around here? I'll tell you one thing. Rumor has it that Carver High will be named the next GM of the Atlanta Falcons after yesterday saying that he was going to bench Cousins that night and start Penix. And then they benched Cousins and starting Penix that very night. Carver High will be leaving the network and signing a multi-million-dollar deal to take over the Atlanta Falcons.
Happy Wednesday. Indeed. Yes, I thought that yesterday. Maybe they should just throw the kid in and see what can happen over the last 3 weeks. And sure enough, that's what they're going to do. There was a lot of quarterback changes today, Scotty. Actually, most of them are for bad teams. I guess the Falcons are a bad team, too. The Falcons are a bad team also. But, the Browns are going to deprive us of Jameis Winston over the last few weeks. They're going to start that Dorian Thompson-Robinson. The Giants are going to go back to Drew Lock. But it's the Falcon change that obviously has the most gas, which is Kirk Cousins and his 4 years and $180 million that they just gave him before this season. He goes to the bench for first-round selection Michael Penix Jr. as they get ready to play the Giants on Sunday. They're 7-7. They're still alive. They need to pretty much win out, I would think, and finish 10-7 to have a shot. But they're going to try to do that with Penix here, Scotty, over the last 3 weeks.
Do you think that they'll still have a meeting at the G-Men, even though they're facing a rookie, that they're going to still have that closed door where they say, I know we're facing a rookie, but we need to let him win. We cannot win this game. I don't care what you do. Do not pick off his passes. Drop them. Drop the pass, because, I saw today Caleb Williams 4 in his first 3 games. Nix 4 in his first 2 games. All these rookies get cleaned out when they start playing. When they see the speed of it and the level of it. This isn't preseason football against the guy from the track team in high school and the postal delivery guy. This is real football on Sundays late in the NFL season. So I'm worried that the kid will go lose to the Giants. The Giants are so awful though. But he's a rookie. I don't care who he is.
The Giants are so awful that I don't think even he can screw it up this week and lose to them. And I think the word is out with the Giants. And I know, listen, it's not like they walk into the room like you said on Saturday night or Sunday morning and say to all the guys, listen, we're losing tomorrow, whether you like it or not. Nobody play hard. We know they don't actually do that, but they are so bad. They are so bad that I don't see how it's possible. And I think Penix will play well. And if he doesn't, let's say it starts poorly for Penix in the first quarter. I think they would just hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson 75 times, and they would still win the game. I don't even think they need him against the Giants. Other weeks that won't work, but I think against the Giants, they can just give the ball to Robinson if Penix is having a hard time.
Well, I'm fine with that. There's only one thing, I feel bad for, frankly, Giant fans, that they're this terrible that, I live here and I'm not a Giants fan, but I have a lot of friends that are, and I have a lot of friends that play for them, and I have a lot of friends that have involvement with the franchise, and I want them to get the number 1 draft pick and see if they can turn the fortunes of the franchise around. They're a proud 4 Super Bowl champion team, and they are anemic. They need to change their fortunes now. And the only way to do it is to, and I don't believe one word of that they don't tell them. Listen, we're losing this game. I don't care what you do. Hell or high water, you screwed us up. Fumble at the 5. Throw a pick 6. Here, have the punter get his punt blocked. Just hold on to it. Call your wife when you get the snap. Make a phone call in the deep pocket. Just do something. Get blocked. Anything. They got to do anything they can to lose. I don't care. And I know people say that doesn't happen. I don't believe that either. Of course it happens. They know. Of course it happens. Lose.
Why not? Just lay down, and that's the end of it. So I'll give you the numbers on that game later on for the Falcons, who will make the switch. And I guess Cousins will be looking for a new home again in the offseason. You ready to go grab Kirk Cousins in March, Scotty, for next year? You want to run out and grab him after his play the past few weeks?
Play on my flag football team in the 28 Olympics.
He might have time for that, the way things are looking for him right now. He might have time to go and do that. So lots of NFL today. Of course, Chargers, Broncos tomorrow night. We've got lots of preview for all of this week's games, some updated awards as we do every Wednesday as well. Lots of NBA. NBA Cup last night. Were you excited? That was a hell of a game between the Bucks and the Thunder. If you like sleep, it was a good one because the Bucks kicked their ass and the Thunder missed. I think they missed about 73s last night, the Thunder. They just kept shooting and shooting and shooting.
I took the points with the Bucks, as you know, so I didn't have a problem with it. What I had a problem with was how bad it was. It was just a terrible game. It was a snoozer, and then you had I thought Trent and Brooks Lopez, contributed mightily to the cause. Obviously, Dame time, you get a trip dub from Giannis, the MVP. They hit 17 threes. The Thunder put up 31 points. Was that right? 31 points in the second half. That is awful basketball. And that was their, big event. That was their Oscars. That was their red carpet. They had ESPN decked out doing a 5-hour pregame show. They had all the celebrities out there at the game last night. All the narcissists were there. Making it about themselves instead about basketball. And then the whole thing was a rotten, stinking fart. That's what it was. It was a terrible event, terrible game. And that's all. I heard today. Did you? I don't know if you heard. I heard today people saying they got to move it. Get it out of Vegas.
Move it? Why do you got to get it out of Vegas? That's the whole idea is that these guys get to go to Vegas. What? I guess. Wait a second. Let me get this. Are they think that the Thunder played bad because they spent 4 days in Vegas? Is that what the correlation is? Shut up. These people are just so out of control now. That is a great thing that they go to Vegas and play that. That's like the only reason to win. Forget the $500,000. You're spending 4 days in Vegas. That's what it's really all about for these guys. I can't believe it.
There's some people that think the Super Bowl should be there every year.
I'm one of those people. I believe that as well. It should be there every year. I got lots of college rack today. We got 2 bowl games tonight. Boca Raton. I know you love the Boca Raton Bowl this evening. Great game.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With two former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards.
That was
in! But he had that program going in!
Only on SportsGrid.
You can catch Moretti's Sports Rage weeknights at 10 on all of our outlets, and there's plenty of them. Thank God he's on with a double shot every day from Vancouver on Coast to Coast. Gabe, I want to start with your feelings about the Penix job, getting Cousins' gig for $180 million. Boy, that did not work out in Atlanta. What a disaster. And they are switching to the Washington phenom starting now.
They probably should have done this a couple of weeks ago, but there's no turning back, right? Once you do this, there's no turning back. It's going to be hard to put Kirk Cousins back in. Now, listen, Penix could get injured, but moving forward, it's clear Kirk Cousins will not be on the Atlanta Falcons next year. They had a strange draft and strange offseason by signing both of them, right? Let's just be real. There were a lot of reports, Scott, at the time that, and I believed it, that the Falcons football people were not interested in any of the free agent quarterbacks. It was, no, we're going to draft a young quarterback. And in fact, I guess in one of those, after the fact SI type of stories that they'll tell, what team they were hanging around with in the draft, the Falcons told, someone at SI covering the draft, point blank, we love Michael Penix. And then they went and signed Kirk Cousins, but they still drafted Michael Penix. So, what it is, Scott, is the Falcons, you have the ownership with blank, you have the football people and the coaching staff, and clearly they were not all on the same page. And blank wanted the free agent name, the veteran player. The football people said, listen, let's just draft a quarterback and move forward. And, blank is the boss, and he got his way, and they did both. And here we are right now. I don't think it was the football people that wanted Kirk Cousins there. I think it was more of an Arthur Blank. The football people wanted to draft a quarterback and did. But quite frankly, Scott, they should have done this against the Raiders. Penix could have beaten the Raiders, got his feet wet. All right, you get the Giants, another cupcake matchup. But, overall, I thought they should have done this sooner. They had nothing to lose. Kirk Cousins, Penix could not be worse. You know what I mean? It's not like anybody could be worse. You and I could go in there and do what Kirk Cousins is doing for them.
Yeah, he had 9 picks and 1 touchdown in his last several games. It was embarrassing. Let me ask you this question. Do you think, because I do, that Thomas Dimitroff did a better job running the Falcons? He got him to the Super Bowl. He did a better job drafting, and then they got rid of him, and they've never been the same since. and your story rings true about how bad they screwed this up with the different people with different philosophies instead of someone calling the shots that knew what they were doing. I don't believe for 1 minute that Arthur Blank knows what he's doing. I don't believe he knows anything about football. He likes to stand on the sideline in his purple coat, and it's velour. It's very nice. And do you believe that the kid – so do you believe Dimitrov would have been better served if they kept him? And then do you believe that the kid will be as good as he was in college? Because he got rid of the ball, I thought, quicker than any quarterback I ever saw. I loved his style.
He's actually really built for the National Football League pennants. His arm, like you said, he's got a laser, a very, very quick delivery, right? And the ball, it's awkward. The delivery is awkward. You know, and it turned some people off. That's what they didn't like about him. And, he was a little bit older and all this. Yeah, well, Bo Nix's a little bit older, too. And how's that working out right now? I mean, let's be real. The Falcons would have been better off just starting Penix from the start and not even signing Kirk Cousins and moving forward. But a lot of teams get stuck, right? They think, they see the name. I've always been a Dimitrov fan. I mean, he's got CFL connections going to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Scott, I've always been a Dimitrov fan. I know that he recently interviewed for the New York Jet job, but you know the drill. Nothing lasts forever. Like, you're a GM, you're like a politician, right? You're there for 4 years, or if you're lucky, 8, and then and then you move on. It doesn't matter how successful you were. In the end, stay long around enough, you become a villain type of deal. But I've always been. Listen, I know you're buddies with him, Scott. He was sort of ahead of the curve a little bit, right? He was one of the first non-suit guys. You know what I mean? One of the first guys to think outside the box. Like, hey, no, we don't just do it like this because you guys have been doing it like this for 100 years. I'm doing it like this. I'm going on my gut. I like this player. We're thinking outside the box. He was one of the first guys to do that. I give him credit for it.
So the bottom line is, I want to say this. I thought that last night's bowl game was better than the NBA game. I thought the Memphis game with West Virginia was way better than that basketball game.
That's the beautiful thing about bowl season. And, we've been around a long time, Scott, and you hear the same complaints every year. Oh, the bowls, this doesn't matter, and this bowl is a joke, and that, and this team opted out. Watch the games. Everybody cares. Everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to, get the bowl ring after and walk off the field their last game as a winner. Last night was kind of what bowl season is about. Wild football game. Super fun football game with Memphis. We knew, listen, Memphis, I'm amazed, but they pay him pretty well there. But I'm really surprised that bigger schools haven't come after Silverfield, the head coach of the Memphis Tigers. I mean, this guy, he's putting up double-digit wins. They only lost 2 games this year. They've got to figure out if they could just get a little bit better on defense. But he's almost got this Lincoln Riley thing going for him right now. It was a veteran team, but very impressive to win 11 games. 11-2 is 11-2, man. As far as today's games is concerned, Scott, the afternoon game coming up or the evening game on the East Coast, the ultimate degenerate special, isn't it? Like, you want to talk about, you're spending your afternoon watching James Madison and Western Kentucky play college football. I hope you win your bet because you don't have a lot of other stuff going on in your life for you. And I'll be right there with you watching this game.
Yeah, I'll be watching. And then Cal and UNLV tonight at around 9 in Los Angeles. That sounds fun, too.
I've been on the other side, I'll tell you about that, Scott. I've really been following a lot. I follow the UNLV Running Rebels closely. I read the Review Journal every day. Fascinating stuff with this game. They don't have their coach. Their offensive coordinator just left. Their wide receiver coach is coaching a game tonight. But mostly everybody's playing for UNLV, and they haven't won a bowl game since 2000. They want this.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set, to you guys, I said there is one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin, back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting out. The hot takes are going to be here all long.
You don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
This is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, I guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. If he texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
My favorite part of the day, a little early today, is when we talk bad about people in between segments. We usually don't get into that till at least halftime, 4:30, turning the corner. We got into it early today, and it was
I'll
fun.
put my name on it. I don't have a problem with it. We can talk about it. So
I thought it was funny. Tell me the story.
So I told Scott during the commercial break, I said, hey, did you see the little Twitter war with Doug Gottlieb and Adam Schefter? And he goes, no. I said, well, Adam Schefter, Sacramento State. Sacramento's a city, dude. They got a baseball team for a couple of years. They're trying to get to the Mountain West Pac-12. They raised a bunch of money. Yeah. So one donor, though, gave $35 million, right? So they're really building their football program. They just stole the UNLV offensive coordinator to be their new head coach. So Schefter was talking about how they were talking with Michael Vick. And he goes, they have $50 million in NIL monies, and, Sacramento State is trying to build something. And Gottlieb says, and Gottlieb was right when he said, gee, Schefter, maybe you should edit what agents send you and tell you to tell people. And he goes, they don't have $50 million. And, that whole part was debatable. But Schefter came from the top rope and said, geez, Dougie, you're on a 7-game losing streak and you're last place in the Horizon League. Less time on Twitter talking to me and more time in the gym. And ironically enough, today, and it was one of those deals, Scott, when I saw it, I was like, damn, I was mad because when Doug Gottlieb got hired as the head coach of the Green Bay basketball team, I thought they're going to be the worst team in the history of basketball. This will be the biggest disaster ever. And I kind of forgot about it. You know what I mean? No one's talked about them. No one's whatever. By the way, so they're now 2-9. They just lost to a division 2-11 now. Oh, well, today doesn't count, though, as crazy as it sounds. They lost it. It was an exhibition game.
And they still lost.
They lost, dude. It wasn't sanctioned, Scott. Like Michigan Tech, it's a step up from DeVry University, bro. Like, they basically played the Phoenix Online team. Like, there wasn't a sanctioned game. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, no, you're not getting a win for this by playing Michigan Tech. Phoenix. And then they lost, Scott. They lost to Michigan Tech.
Yeah, I think that's not going well. How about the other
Hey,
decision?
Gottlieb's got a great reputation in the business. I know everybody loves him, right?
Oh yeah, he's got quite a reputation. But they gave him. He kept his radio show too. Like he's doing both.
Strangest thing ever.
He's coaching and he's still doing a radio show. And then
he was on this morning beefing about Schefter, and then goes and loses. Like, what are you doing at Green Bay? Hire me and Ferrall. You gonna let us do the shows and coach the team? Let me do it. You know what I mean?
And we do a better show. And I think that I could coach
and win more.
I could coach that team drunk, and I'd already have 6 wins. They lost to the University of Phoenix. He said he goes, they lost to DeVry. That's the line of the year.
No offense to Michigan Tech. No offense. None.
Hey. So Oklahoma and Michigan tonight at the Jumpman in Charlotte. Who do you like there with Dusty's boys taking on the undefeated Sooners?
Yeah, you know what? The Sooners are undefeated, but the Michigan Wolverines have played a really, really tough schedule. I love how they're just taking on all comers so far this year. So you know where I'm going with this. Give me Michigan. Listen, they just lost last week, right, in this spot at Madison Square Garden. Right? They lost the close game to Arkansas. I think this time they get it done tonight. I'm not in love with the 4 because I think it'll be close, but I think we're going to get there. I'll say Michigan by like 5 or 6, and let's go over the 149. And in the football game coming up at Boca Raton, dude, once again, man, the Wussbag, Scott, talking about weather at Boca Raton. What do you mean weather? They're like, oh.
It's 80 degrees and sunny.
They're like, I'm reading all these previews. It's going to be really windy and there's going to be rain. I just checked, by the way, like Scott said, it's 80 degrees and sunny right now at Boca Raton. Yeah. Whatever. 9-mile-an-hour winds. Ooh, that's going to scare the kids.
Give me the Cal UNLV game.
Oh, give me UNLV to win this football game tonight. And an emotional one. The UNLV Running Rebels win their first bowl game since the year 2000. And let's go over the 49 in the Boca Raton Bowl at 5:30 Eastern.
Morency trying to get the UNLV head coaching gig, but Dan Mullen stole it from him. He was this close, Morency, to getting that gig. And we would have all moved to Vegas and been assistant coaches. We would have had a hell of a run in Sin City.
There's got to be a school out there somewhere.
Enjoy the afternoon bowl game in Boca Raton. 80 degrees and sunny. The weather's going to be a problem.
I'm actually not even on a side today. Yeah. And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there was one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting out. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people.
You don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
Yeah, this is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, I guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text, put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh, yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. You texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe, like it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
Wow, I feel so much better. That's 2 segments in a row in the break where we talk bad about people. I feel fantastic, especially during the holiday season. All right, Carver High, let's start off with one of our favorites, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, indeed, as we get ready for NFL Week 16, which will be upon us tomorrow night. It'll start in Los Angeles with the Chargers and the Broncos. Of course, we do love Jim Harbaugh here on Coast to Coast. He gets ready for Bo Nix. Now, he really likes Bo Nix, Scotty. Now, listen to the end of this. I mean, I think he likes Bo Nix a little bit too much when he starts comparing him to some other quarterbacks, particularly one quarterback in particular.
And Bo Nix is, continues to be, a really good. I mean, it's almost he's getting athletically, buying time, and it's almost. I mean, he's in the same ballpark as Patrick is. So it's been really good.
What?
Is he talking about Patrick Surtain?
I think Patrick Mahomes is who he's talking about. He's in the same ballpark as Patrick Mahomes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because I can't even absorb that. I'm like, Pat Surtain is the best player on that team, and I thought he was saying that he's getting into that realm of being one of the best players on the team, and he is nowhere near Patrick Mahomes. Okay, so I didn't know he called him Pat. They don't call him Pat, do they?
Well, look, first of all, there's a few things. A, you don't know with Jim because he's so out there and zany. You have no idea what the hell he's talking about most of the time. 2, it could be either or. He never really clarified what that is. And I don't think it's right even if he was talking about that because, like you said, that guy's like the best defensive player. I think he's the best corner in all of football. Even I wouldn't elevate him to that status yet. Whether he's talking about his own team or other quarterbacks, he's still a rookie. He still has a long way to go. He still has games like last week where he wasn't great. Done a good job, but I'm not ready to put him up there yet. Let's relax with talking about some of the best players in the league. I think that's a little too far to go. Now, one thing that he's been very good at, believe it or not, Bo Nix, is he's been very good covering in one aspect. But that is not the aspect that he has this week. Of course, as a favorite, he's been 7-0 against the spread. Not a favorite this week. 4-3 as an underdog, as they are getting 3 points at SoFi tomorrow night. So not as good on this side.
Yeah, look, I know how everyone yesterday said they're on the Broncos to win this game. I think Gabe, you, everybody. I'm on Orange Sherbert and the Chargers to rebound. They've lost 2 in a row. They got to stop the bleeding. If they don't, they're going to screw this up. They keep losing. They're not going to the playoffs. Okay, they got to turn this around now at home tomorrow night. I don't care. I don't want to hear about short weeks and all this other nonsense. They're playing in their building tomorrow night. They need to take advantage of that, and they need to win that game come hell or high water. Now, I'm not stupid. I know Denver can win. Someone has to win all of these games, okay? It's real clear to me. So let's see if they can get it done. But 4-3 is a dog. You saw it right there with the number. I like the Chargers to win the game.
Now, the good news, if you like the Chargers, is I have seen it, particularly in 1 or 2 spots just right now, down to 2.5. I know it was 3 yesterday and earlier in the week. Take the 2.5, minus 2.5 there for the Chargers. 42.5 is the total. I do think maybe we can get a couple points tomorrow night. It would be nice. We've had some tough primetime games recently. That Raider-Falcon game was bad. The Ram-Niner game last week was bad.
I think that what I saw last week was a Charger team that couldn't do anything right, and now they're playing a team that has a defense, and I think it's going to be more of that, more of the same, low scoring. I don't think they're getting a ton of touchdowns in this game. I really don't. What is the number at? What'd you say it's at?
42.5. 42.5.
That's pretty low total. I'm going to go under. I don't care about totals. I care about spreads.
I know. You like the Chargers.
I've never been a guy.
That's where you're living.
Predicts the score of games. Like people come, 38-17. Shut up. Like, I have never seen anything so embarrassing as people trying to predict the scores of games. They do it at the Super Bowl every year, too. We sit and listen to every guest come on. Oh, what do you think the final score is going to be? Oh, my God. I'd rather talk about hookers. I really would.
Yeah.
And what do you have for dinner? Honestly, I don't predicting scores of games. What are you, the New Jersey lottery? I don't want to. What is this? Numbers? What are we playing? Rolling dice? What is this, roulette?
There's probably a lot more money in if you knew the New Jersey lottery numbers. That's probably a better angle if you do know those things than knowing the outcomes of games like Biff and Back to the Future. Let's go to Saturday now. Of course, the Chiefs, the big question will be, and they're going to do this to you all the way up until the game starts.
Yeah,
is he going to play? Is he not going to play? We always carry him off the field, make it look worse than it actually is, and then he shows up and he throws 3 touchdowns like there's absolutely nothing wrong with him. Here's Patrick Mahomes. Of course he wants to play on Saturday. Here he goes.
Yeah, I want to be able to move. I want to be able to get out of the way. I mean, this is a good pass rush.
Yeah, you move just fine.
Around. You don't want to go out there and put yourself in harm's way. I mean, obviously it's football. You're going to take hits, but you want to be able to protect yourself. So that'll be where I'm at, and I don't want to limit the game plan. I think that's another thing for me is I want to be able to still be able to move around the pockets, so we're not just sitting in one spot the whole entire game and letting their D-line really get after it. So it's about me finding that balance and seeing where I'm at. And like I said, I won't know until kind of close to the end of this week.
Okay, so here's the thing. He's lying right there through his teeth the entire week. He's not
playing.
I agree. He's not playing. The guy can't even walk, and now he's got a high ankle sprain. He's week to week, and you're going to play him in this bum game on Saturday that doesn't matter? It doesn't matter. I mean, let's face facts. You said they got to lose 2 games of the final 3 to blow it for the Bills. He'll miss 1 game. That'll be it, and then we'll see if he can beat the Steelers on Christmas Day. Now, I've seen grandiose predictions of the Steelers beating the Chiefs on Christmas Day, and I want to know where they're getting their information. Like, who cares? Everyone predicts everything around here and everywhere else. I think he'll play in that game, Christmas Day on Netflix.
We got to get through Saturday for all these teams first before we start looking at who's going to win next week. We got to get through Saturday, and I'll tell you, I think he is going to play. I think that they do this all the time. I don't think he's as bad as they make it out. Every time, I mean, he gets dragged off the field multiple times in the last few years, and then he comes back like absolutely nothing's wrong. He was a full participant in practice yesterday. Not limited, not missed, a full participant. And if they're putting that down, that means he's good enough to play in a game. He's playing Saturday because he always does. And he always just sticks the knife right through you, and he'll do it again this week. He always does. But if he doesn't, Carson Wentz is going to be there to pick up the pieces. And here's Andy. I don't know if we're going to laugh too hard at this. So I have to save this until after the break because I need to give it its proper due.
I told you yesterday, I hope he gets rolled on like a pizza roller doing the dough.
Yeah, but every time, like a couple years ago against Jacksonville, they drag him off the field. Like he's fighting with Reed on the sideline. He comes back in. He plays the next week. Plays every game. Nothing wrong. Earlier this year, he had that Monday night game with the Saints. Oh, look at him. He's so hurt. Oh, look at him take you on the field. He's in there like another, a series later, like nothing happened to him. I don't know why it happens. I don't know if the guy's got Mr. Miyagi. I saw somebody tweet this. Mr. Miyagi rubbing him. Right, he puts the hands on him and he's fine. I don't know what the deal is.
Did you see the new Karate Kid Legends movie?
Yeah,
coming out?
I don't know how I feel about that.
You got to see
I'm
it
not
with Willie
sure.
and Ray.
Yeah,
Ray
I don't know.
What are you doing?
I don't know how I feel about it.
My son came home from college. The first thing he said to me at 6 in the morning was, look me in the face. Instead of Merry Christmas, he said, I hate Patrick Mahomes dead.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there is one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin, back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this bet than I do for this year. I'm ready. I'm just getting out. The hot takes are going to be here all long. People
don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
Yeah, this is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, I guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this. I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, "Hey, I never got the text." And I'm like,
no.
Oh yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I would never stiff anybody. What you texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
So I want to hear Andy Reid.
Yeah, so obviously Carson Wentz has bounced around the league quite a bit since his failures of years ago. He would be the guy if, for whatever reason, Mahomes doesn't play this Saturday or at any point. Andy Reid is going to pump him up right here, man. You would think this guy was Joe Montana. Here we go.
He's started in the league and been successful. He's got a great feel for this offense. Very smart, big arm. I mean, I like the way he carries himself. I like everything about him. He should be starting in this league somewhere, you know. So he's a heck of a player.
Come on.
I've seen it all.
Should be starting in this league somewhere.
What I want to see happen is him go down. I want to see Mahomes go down hard, and then like in the playoffs against the Bills at Arrowhead in the first quarter, and they cut his leg off, and they bring this guy Wentz in, and you watch what the Bills are going to do to Wentz and what Josh Allen's going to do to the Chiefs. They're not winning without this guy. They're not winning with that guy. They're not winning with Carson Wentz ever. I don't care about some regular season game. They're not winning the Super Bowl with him. Know that.
This is now gone all the way to 3 because they believe Mahomes is playing. So Chiefs -3 and 41.5. So this total actually a little bit lower than the point lower than the Bronco Charger game. 41.5 for this game.
Well, I think that'll go over, and I think the Chiefs will win. And if you're so certain he's playing, then it's automatic they'll get it done at Arrowhead Saturday. Are you kidding me?
I mean, that's my feeling. Just because I'm tired of watching the same movie over and over. I'm tired of watching every time they tell us that this guy's got some devastating injury, and that there's a chance he might not play. He always plays, and he always wins. Until I see it with my own eyes, he doesn't play, then I don't believe it. He can be out there as far as I'm concerned this Saturday against the Houston Texans. That's how it always goes. The later game on Saturday is the one that really has the juice because it's the AFC North. It's the Steelers and the Ravens. Round 2 for this year, this time down in Baltimore. Let's start with Lamar Jackson. I always love these. The Steelers have won 8 of their last 9. We did this the last time they played. The Steelers have been kicking the Ravens' ass for years. Nobody plays Lamar Jackson better than the Steelers play him. Every game's been decided by one score. Here's Lamar, though. It's just another game, Scotty. Just another game.
Nah, every game's a big game. You know, like I said, just the other day, we couldn't look at those guys' record and just think we can just go in there and just blow them out. You know, it's an NFL team. We got to go into every game the same way, trying to win, regardless of the record, who it is in front of us. I feel like we can play with anybody, play against anybody.
Yeah.
Well, everyone in the NFL can play against everyone else in the NFL. Who are we kidding here? But this is an enormous game. There is a lot on the line. The North title is on the line. Playoff positioning is on the line. Seeding. Everything's on the line Saturday at that place. I hate that place. I hate them.
I know you don't. I know you don't like it. I know that. We have not gotten the injury report for today yet for the Steelers and the Ravens. So when I do get that, I'll give you an update on TJ Watt specifically, because that's the one that we are looking for the most. Here is Cam Hayward. He does have a plan, Scotty, if TJ Watt can't go. I don't know if it's Mike Tomlin would be in on this plan, but here's Cam Hayward's plan if TJ Watt can't go.
I got to play outside linebacker. We'll see. I'll be sending nights to his house, praying to God we get him right, but, getting lots of rest and get ready for Saturday.
Maybe 10 years ago, right, Scotty? I think 10 years ago you could have got Cam out there on the outside rushing the passer, but I don't know if we could still do that now. I think Cam's fine where he is, bunched up there in the middle. You can't get him on the outside. Limited.
So, limited practice today for TJ. Landon Roberts did not practice. Patrick Queen, full practice. Pickens did not practice. Ogunjobi, limited. Dante Jackson did not. Cam did not. Cam Hayward. Justin Fields did not. Deshaun Elliott did not. There you go. That's today, straight from the Steelers. I got my Christmas card as well from the team today. It said,
"You got the Christmas card from
Merry
them?
Christmas, and send us some more money."
Send him some more money for that. Yeah, DNPs for those guys there. Hayward too, which is, he was a rest, which is weird. Usually the guys with the rest don't sit out 2 days in a row. But hey, he'll be out there. You know that for Cam Hayward. Tomlin as a dog against the Ravens. I know we pull this rabbit out of the hat a lot too. 13-2-2 against the spread as an underdog against the Ravens. That includes 5-0 against Lamar Jackson against the spread. Steelers, of course, with a big number here, 6.5 with the 45.5. And you did send me that thing. I mean, all those games, one-score games,
right,
up and down the line, they always play tight games, which even if you don't think the Steelers will win, 6.5's a lot of sticks.
I'll take the points, and the same track record applies. Okay, so every game's one score. Let's hope this one's not 7. Let's hope it's 6 at worst, and you get the cover by a hook. So, look, the Steelers always play the Baltimore Ravens well. They play them well. They play them tough. They beat them. They are Lamar Jackson's kryptonite is the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's just all there is to it. Now, I know they could lose this game. It is a dangerous game any way you slice it.
Now, I did see this today as well as I was doing some digging. The Steelers can lose this game on Saturday and still win the AFC North. They would both be, of course, 10-5 if the Ravens win Saturday. And if both win their last 2 weeks and they both finish 12-5, the Steelers would have the tiebreaker. Now, they both got to win their last 2 weeks. I don't know what the tiebreak, how it changes if they go 1-1 apiece. But if they both go 2-0 down the stretch and they're both 12-5, the Steelers would win the AFC North in that scenario.
People think that the Bengals will beat the Steelers in the game that I'm going to on January 5th because the Steelers aren't going to play anybody.
I'm actually not even on a side today. Yeah. And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set, to you guys, I said there is one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin, back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in this set than I do for your eyes. I'm just getting out. The hot takes are going to be here all morning.
You don't want them to go 13-0 and then lose the first round of the playoffs.
Red.
This is their last shot. They don't really have anywhere else to go yet.
Hot take.
By the time I hit, like guess what, Route 33 up here, that ticket's cashing.
Only on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
I remember one time, I don't know if Kenny will remember this, I said put 100 on, I think I left it on a text. Put 100 on this horse that won, and then Kenny called me back later and goes, hey, I never got the text. And I'm like,
no.
Oh, yeah. Remember that, Kenny?
I never stiff anybody. You texted me as they're loading into the gate, maybe. Like, it's too late.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
So going back to the Cousins benching and Penix starting now for the Falcons, and what is your thoughts on the future of both? How do you think Penix will do as the Falcons quarterback moving forward into next year? They still have a shot at the playoffs here in these 3 remaining games. But I don't think they're going to catch Tampa, because I think Tampa's on fire and they're playing great football, and I think Baker Mayfield's not going to let it happen. And I don't think he's even going to consider letting this rookie take his playoff position. And then I want to know what you think happens to Kirk Cousins.
Well, we were actually kind of going through this last night on the radio show. There is another backdoor for Atlanta because of how these schedules line up the last 3 weeks. You know, they play Washington next week. Washington has a pretty tough finish. You know, they play the Eagles this week. They lose that game and the Falcons beat the Giants. They're 1 back. Falcons beat them heads up the next week. Suddenly they're tied with the Falcons having a tiebreaker over them. So there actually is a secondary backdoor option if the Falcons can win out and Washington can lose some of these games down the stretch, Scotty. So that's something to keep an eye on there. I was watching Raheem Morris before we came on talk about it. He's obviously excited to put Penix in there, but he did say, and you always love when they do this, he really took it like a pro, he said, Cousins. He's a pro, he's a man, he's a great human, great father, great football player, blah, 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 blah. He's chopped, is what he is. He's chopped. He's out, and he won't be with the Falcons next year. He's going to be finished. And I think Penix will be all right, but it always takes rookies a little time. You go look earlier this year, it's a rough start. Even guys who are playing well now, Knicks, etc., it took them a few weeks to get going. I mean, this is week 16, and you're throwing this guy in the fire. I know the Giants suck, Scotty, but you got that backdrop. Just give it to Bijan 50 times. If Penix isn't looking too well, they should still win the game, but it's dicey to start him this late.
Why isn't he just doing this next year? Like, start the vet in these last 3 games. See if he can turn it around. He's obviously been jinxed and had bad luck. He's throwing all these picks. He's falling apart. I get it. But to throw a rookie into game when you are this close, they are this close to a playoff spot. They are the one that's this close. Like they're, right in the thick of things with the Bucs. And now you're telling me they got a backdoor option if the Commanders fall apart. But you're telling me the Falcons are playing the Commanders. They're not going to beat the Commanders with him. They're not beating. He's not beating them. He's not beating Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is a badass, and this kid's going to be in his second game. Like, come on.
They moved that to the Sunday night game next week. So that Washington Atlanta game is going to be Sunday night.
All the more reason to watch him melt down on prime time.
All the more reason. Look, I think that unfortunately for Kirk, the last 5 weeks were just so bad, and I guess they felt the potential boom. Who knows? You throw the kid in there, and maybe he's so good, sparks the entire offense. They score tons of points, and then they can go on a run. I think that that's the way they're looking at it. As far as this week goes, I was 8.5 yesterday. It's gone down to 7.5. That's laying a lot of points with a quarterback who's never started a game in his life before. 7.5 points this Sunday against a really bad football team, but it's still over a touchdown.
Yeah, I don't trust this as far as I can spit. I'm not betting that game. No way. Why would I do that? Like, honestly, how stupid are you? Like, here, let me go bet on this kid against this crappy team and see how I do. And let me lay as many points as possible. Like, no way. I got better things to do with my money. I'm sorry, sometimes around here, we got to stop with all this bet on every single game nonsense.
Yep.
Like, who does that? No one does that. People, real sharp players, they bet on very few things, and they try to make all their money with quality, not quantity. That's just all there is to it. No one's doing that. There'll be people that will bet props, player props, over spreads and totals more than the sun rises. I mean, honestly, look at the betting trends of, this year, just at what people do now when they bet. Like you bet touchdowns, you bet home runs, you bet golf. You're not betting on some rookie to lay 7.5 points in an NFL game.
I was going to say to you, I got a lot of other things I could do with my money on Sunday with all those NFL games than bet on either the Giants or the Falcons. I got plenty of other options than betting on that game. That's for sure.
PA on the mic is next.
I'm actually not even on a side today.
Yeah.
And I'll get to that. Why are you on Texas?
I gave them a chance. Maybe not me as the overwhelming authority in college football, but entering that game on this set to you guys, I said there is one elite defense entering the matchup in Austin, back to end out October. It's not the Bulldogs like it used to be. It is Texas.
College football today, only on SportsGrid.
How do you find some of this great talent that you've brought in, who are still early in their career, might not have a ton of tape on them yet?
I've been around this business, man, for almost 20 years. So a lot of these guys will tell you that I popped into a lot of gyms, sparred or just worked on the side or, kind of worked out, just watching. I've always loved this sport, man. I think it's the greatest. And we want to continue to put on the next up-and-coming superstars. We know we got them.
Only on SportsGrid.
The NFL and college, they don't operate on the same timelines, right? UNLV's head coach just got, the Purdue job this morning, where I imagine, right, UNC probably needs to know from Bill.
And let's say it's late December, and we see 7-8 teams open, and none of them want Bill. Then Bill's got to make a decision. Does he want to be a college head coach?
Pro football today, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.